All right, continued demonstrations by the Yellow Vests in Paris have prompted a drastic new move by the government there. Last night, French MPs approved an anti-rioting bill that would give security forces expanded abilities to crack down on those they deem to be rabble-rousers. Now, opponents to the bill say this contravenes the constitutional right to demonstrate. Meanwhile, EU Chief Donald Tusk made some controversial remarks about the Brexit deal that raised many eyebrows. So joining us now to discuss all of these European issues, former UK MP George Galloway. All right, George, under this bill passed by the lower house of Parliament, 387 to 92, it gives provisions to police to arrest those they believe are hooligans. It also comes with a heavy-handed sentence of 6 months prison along with a €7,500 fine. Your thoughts?
Well, the first thing is this legislation was actually tabled in the National Assembly before the Yellow Vests ever existed, thus revealing a predetermined plan to crack down on the ancient constitutional rights of the French people, a revolutionary people, a republic literally born in revolution, born on the streets. And so that's one of the reasons why it's facing a tougher than expected progress through the House. It's true only 92 voted against it, but something like 80 abstained. And a key point is 50 of Mr. Macron's own party members voted against it in the National Assembly. More will do so in the upper house. And then the Constitutional Council, which governs and protects the Constitution, is a final hurdle for Macron to cross. And he might not get across it. He might not be able to actually cut a way through what is a growing movement. This week, the mighty trade union, the CGT, left-wing industrial union, millions strong, had a general strike, the second of this emergency, and they've entered the field of battle, thus deepening Mr. Macron's problems. And the ancientness of these this idea of protest has to be grasped. Maybe not in your country and not in mine, but in France they demonstrate more than in any other country in the world, at the drop of a hat and for anything. It really matters to them, Manila.
I think it sounds like you're right, George, that they had this planned already, that perhaps Macron and his government assumed that the Yellow Vest protests would kind of fizzle out on their own, not assuming it would go on for this many months, I suppose. And you were right that of the 92 nay voters, 50 MPs from Macron's own LREM party abstained from voting on this particular legislation. So what kind of sign of discord is this in Macron's party? Even they don't agree with him.
Well, it's a sign of the public's attitude, and politicians have to be sensitive to public mood. And a very clear majority of French people support the Yellow Vests. Many more than that oppose President Macron. His current opinion poll ratings are something like 17%. Donald Trump or Theresa May are pretty unpopular in their respective countries, but nothing like that level of unpopularity. So this is Macron's party members deciding that, well, we're not going to follow the old man wherever he wants to go if he's going to take us over the electoral cliff.
Yeah, and like you said, France was founded on such public demonstrations. The U.S. here, I mean, you can have them, but you got to get permits to have them. But this new expansion of powers, George, would also allow police to search demonstrators, search their person for weapons, very similar to the controversial stop and frisk law that we have in New York City. But given the level of violence that we have witnessed at these protests, isn't it fair for the police to do so, as they need to prevent injuries for themselves as well, don't they?
Well, a lot of police officers have been injured, but far more demonstrators have been injured by the police. Of course, we know how these stop and search powers are used by police officers in your country, mine, and certainly in France. We know the kind of people who will be stopped and searched, what they look like, even the colour of their skin. So it's very controversial indeed. But the most controversial part is that it will give the state the right to ban individuals from going on protests.
Yeah.
Now, they say it will only affect a few in the beginning, but the beginning is only the beginning. Where that would end might be a real breach of the French people's rights.
And now, George, I want to take it back over to the UK, because EU President Donald Tusk last night had some interesting words for folks just like you. I'm talking about those who support Brexit. Let's listen to what he had to say, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
I've been wondering what that special place in hell looks like for those who promoted Brexit without even a sketch of a plan how to carry it safely.
All right, George, what does this special place in hell look like from where you stand?
Well, it looks like heaven to me. To paraphrase Groucho Marx, I wouldn't want to be a member of a club that was run by a guy like that. Cardinal Tusk, with his unique insight into paradise and its inverse, the bowels of hell. It's a ridiculously incendiary remark for a diplomat to make whilst we're still in negotiations with him. I don't know if he imagines that it will make the British people view the European Union more fondly. If he does, he needs locking up, because it has been treated here as a real national insult. This is not Hotel California, where you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. We voted to leave, and we're leaving, whether Cardinal Tusk likes it or not.
All right, we hope Mr. Tusk is listening. Thank you, as always, for sharing your insights with us, George Galloway.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.